fresh out of camp. Hadn't been on the road for more than 2 or 3 minutes, and we got a radio call from Ranger Sean DeRuja saying that he could hear lions fighting over something pretty close to camp. As we came around the corner, we found one of the Talamati Lionesses, and then heard the fighting over the carcass a little bit further beyond them. Crashing through the trees and everything we've got in here, and there's 2 lionesses fighting over what looks like it could be a baby wildebeest. Yeah, I found down these animals look like they've knocked a young wildebeest or something. There's 4 lionesses here, all busy finishing off the remains now. And so just the competition around a carcass is phenomenal, and it's just a mind-boggling thought to think how this takes tough love to another level, because these are all sisters or related very closely, and they're all lovey-dovey away from a carcass. But as soon as you throw a piece of meat or a carcass in the mix here, all of that goes out the window, and they become these ferocious, fierce beasts just trying to get their fair share. And so we've had them fighting for the carcass right here, so close to us. And just that noise reverberates through your chest. I mean, what an incredible experience. We've got one of the lionesses sitting out in the back there. She looks like she's got a bit of a gash on top of her left cheek there. That would have been from a claw in the little fight right here. The other one ran off with the last little bits into the distance. So doesn't look as though too much more is going to happen here. But what I'm going to do is try and get ourselves out, see if they've maybe settled down behind us up there. But this is the Talamati breakaway pride. They've broken away from the pride that's normally found a lot further north of us, beyond Londolozi's borders, and they're sort of just moving around trying to establish themselves. So our plan now is to move into the area around the Sand River where we believe the Nhlanguleni Female has been lurking around for quite some time. She was mating with the Senegal bushmale about 3 months ago, and we have a slight suspicion that she might possibly have given birth. I heard from Ranger Jess yesterday she followed tracks into the river and had tracks just going back and forth in the same area towards a cluster of boulders that the Nhlanguleni females used before. And similar to her last den that we managed to find, you often see that female leopards will reuse dens over and over again. So it'll be fantastic news if we can find the den now, because seeing a tiny leopard cub is up there with one of the most incredible sightings to see. So we're going in here now. Doesn't look as though anybody's driven through this area since the river came down in flood. But as we go through here, I'm just wanting to scan or look out for any tracks of the Nhlanguleni female walking through here. That'll help me narrow it down as to exactly where she might be. So this cluster of boulders here, plus all the flood debris, the palm trees and matumi trees there, is where we suspect the Nhlanguleni female to be denning, because this is the direction that Jess saw all the tracks coming to. And rewind back a couple of years, the first litter after she managed to raise the Nkua female and Finfoot female, she brought them in and dropped them off here and kept them here for a good couple of weeks. Looking behind me, you can see in the sand there a whole lot of tracks coming towards here. Those do look as though they're from before the rain, so we're just going to wait it out for a little bit longer. So we've had no luck with anything around what we presume to be the den. So we're going to take a drive a little bit further around, venture further afield, see what else we can find. And I highly doubt she's there, because we possibly would have heard some noise from her or the cubs over the hour and a bit that we've spent sitting there. But anyways, this is only day one of the search, and we know how these things go. It's not going to just be a walk in the park and find her on the first day. So let's see what else we find for the afternoon. Whilst we've just been cruising around now, we've just come across a dazzle of zebra, where it appears as though there's a bit of competition going on. This is actually just a bout of play fighting, where the young ones are all trying to establish their position in somewhat of a hierarchy. And the new young up-and-coming males are essentially trying to steal or grab hold of and claim some of the younger females to join in their harem. But before long, it looks as though all has been resolved and they're moving off into the distance. But it's just very entertaining watching these zebra and how agile and nimble they are. It's been a fairly quiet afternoon for the most part. So I'm thinking let's head back across to where the Talamati breakaway pride was. See if they've got up to much. I always find it pretty fascinating how lions will go from 1 minute wanting to tear each other's heads off as they fight for a carcass, to the next all lying very close to each other, often grooming and loving each other. So it just shows you how fierce the competition is for them, as they each need to get their fair share of the carcass. But now that we're here with them again, you can have a closer look at that female's lip, where she got the gash from her sister. It looks pretty intense, but that'll heal very quickly and easily. And then we've got the other one with a bit of a wound on her tail. She appears to be the much older lioness amongst these four, and you can see she's a lot smaller. She's quite old and her condition is slightly deteriorating, but she's still doing very well, and the fact that she's with these other three lionesses will help her in the long run. And as long as they can stick together, they'll be able to bring down some bigger prey, and she'll then be able to get a good few meals in. So we'll keep a close eye on her. The more we see these lions, the more we'll be able to then gauge her condition. But it doesn't look as though too much more is really going to happen this evening. It's just fantastic to be in such close proximity to lions. I guess now that these lions have essentially broken away permanently from their natal pride and are moving around as their own pride and are self-sufficient and establishing themselves more and more in Londolozi, could almost be that time where they are given a new name. And so I'm sure in the next few weeks, amongst the rangers and trackers here, we'll put forward a few ideas, and then we'll take that to the research organizations which we work very closely with, and see if that name has been used for any other prides, and we'll also chat with some of the neighboring reserves, and collectively we'll come up with a new name for this pride. But obviously that's jumping the gun slightly, and at the end of the day, it's always just great to spend time with these lions, and seeing a new pride is always exciting. But anyways, that's enough for me. We're just waffling and rambling a bit too much here. Let's head back to camp and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your Sunday.